How cool is it to come back to Dallas and be in this position?
It's extremely cool. It's dream-like, you know. Been gone for 15 years, and you know, getting that call from Coach Lashley, it was definitely something that I've dreamed about, to be able to come back home. I didn't know if it was going to happen. I created a life in Illinois, and then got an opportunity to go learn the air raid offense down in Houston from Coach Clarence McKinney. So the opportunity to come back home here is pretty cool.
How different is the relationship between SMU and the city of Dallas now than it was maybe when you were coming up?
It's really different. When I was coming up, I never seen SMU in our building. It took me going to junior college to get recruited from SMU. So the relationship that has been developed between, I say across the bridge, but across the bridge and here is unbelievable what they're doing. I think it's a kid now knows about SMU from the South Oak Cliff area and the South Dallas area, and I think it's important that they bridge that gap. And I know Coach Lashley, he came to me and asked me, what do we got to do? I said, well, we gotta invest. We gotta make sure we put time in and go over there and obviously visit with those high school kids and coaches and continue to build that relationship.
How important is it to have a place in the city to be able to go to?
It's huge. It's huge. And now that we continue to build that brand and build a reputation that we're serious about it, and I think it's very important. And I think that's why we're trying to make sure that we're the school of choice for Dallas kids. So we're making sure that we're getting boots on the ground. We're getting into every high school, and we're making sure that these kids understand that this university can help them fulfill all their dreams.
Kevin, Joe White, Dallas Morning News. How important was it ultimately to, for the push to recruit Dallas, to get a kid like Kevin Henry-Jennings, who's been, people who follow his story have been, really respected it, and he's got obviously a lot of attention on him.
It's extremely important. Once again, we just talked about bridging that gap. A kid like that, if he was anywhere else, I think he would have had multiple offers. He's a talented kid, has really good arm strength. He does everything that some of these other quarterbacks does and at a higher level, and he didn't have as many offers. So it was very important for us to go in there and basically, he's a sleeper. I think he's a steal. I think he's a kid that's going to come in here and prove that he belongs. He's going to come in with a chip on his shoulder, but I think it was very important for us to show the community of Dallas and the inner city of Dallas that SMU is serious about taking on that, building that, continuing to build that relationship.
So obviously, as your hometown, I think your online bio starts with South Oak Cliff graduate, but as far as recruiting, how far does your network reach out into Dallas and DFW in general?
I cover the whole city. Guys that have followed me and know me. I know Joe know me, and Billy knows me pretty well. The last 10 years I've been recruiting the area. When I was at Illinois State, I recruited the whole DFW by myself. So I'm here a week or maybe two. I'll hit about 12 schools a day. So I recruit everywhere: Frisco, Mansfield, to Fort Worth, to Mesquite. It didn't matter to me. I had to go find the talent. So I did. Obviously, being from South Oak Cliff, that's where I start, but I branch out pretty far.
Obviously, your recruiting prowess is something that is well known for, but at Illinois State, you had James Robinson. You're a running back coach too. I guess how excited are you for this running back room? Getting a guy like Ulysses Bentley back and Brandon Epton, who I'm sure you're familiar with.
Yeah. Well, I'm very excited. Having James for 3 years and him being back to back. He was his best first team All-American, and obviously being the starting running back for Jackson Jaguars. It was great. But coming here and having a guy like Ulysses Bentley and Brandon Epton, and then you have T.J. McDaniels, and then you got Trey Siggers, and then you got Levine. You have a full room, but a lot of guys that do a lot of different things, and they do it really well. So I think we got a really good bunch that will help us win a lot of football games.
Do you like the idea of using a variety of players like that, or would you rather one guy sort of grabs the job and makes it?
I want to do what's best for the team. If it's using a couple guys, we're going to do that. So, like I tell these guys right now, there's no one guy bigger than the team. In our first couple meetings, I want to make sure we continue to stress that there's no one guy in this room that's bigger than the team. And I think they understand that. They work hard together. So far from seeing them in the morning workouts, they're very competitive. So I think it's going to bring up, like Coach Brewer said earlier, that competitive excellence is going to make our room better. So if it comes out to be that X, Y, and Z is the best guy for the job, that game, that's what we're going to do. And if we need to rock this guy 20 carries or 30 carries this game, that's what we're going to do. So whatever the best thing for the team in that game or in that situation, that best player, that's who we're going to ride with.
I'm just curious, you spent a lot of time at Illinois State, and obviously that's your tissue. What are some of the things you've taken away from those experiences that you feel like will help you here?
Just, Illinois State, just a winning culture we created. Coming from when I played there, we're okay, wasn't great, and then building that winning tradition there, going to play for a national championship, being back-to-back conference champions there. I think just that winning edge that we had there, just the know-how, to develop and build. And being at Texas Southern, just understanding the lack of resources that we did have, but we were able to get the job done. I know we didn't produce a lot of wins, but just now gradually is taking the next step in that program to get them to become winners. So just knowing to develop and just get the most out of the less. And obviously we're at SMU, but I think just the development part, being able to develop a young man, a kid, is what I'll be able to take from those places.
What's it like recruiting at that level? Because you don't, maybe in a place like TSU, you don't have like building like this to sell. Some of the things that are going to come in here. What kind of challenges that bring to recruiting, and how does that help you evolve as a recruiter?
It just makes you, for me, it just made the point of emphasis on relationships more important. You try to take the buildings and the glitz and the glam out of it, and you focus in on the relationship piece. It's very challenging at times, but with my connection here in Dallas and the relationships, because majority of these coaches either I played for, played against, or I have a relation with, play with the kid. So when you come down here from Illinois State, and we're something different. We're something different up there, So kids took interest in it, and just the relationship piece having with the high school coaches here. They trusted in me. They entrusted me with their players and their kids. That it wasn't hard to really get a kid up there. I was very competitive as well. I don't care. I didn't care at the time if it was North Texas, SMU, ULM. It didn't matter who it was that was on that kid. I felt like I had a chance to get him, and a lot of times I won them battles.
You offered guys early a lot at Illinois State too,
Yes.
and that ended up kind of blowing up. I remember we talked about Ryan Watts, you were the first one to offer him. I guess how many guys from this current SMU team are you familiar with that you actually offered in the past?
It was amazing when I walked in the team meeting. A lot of them, a lot of those kids, Daniels, Elton, Record, a lot of these kids are offered first. We just signed our tight end transfer from Michigan State, and his mom and dad came in basically giving me a hug, crying, because I was the first one to offer, and they remember that. So it's been a lot of relationships that had already started. Because with me in recruiting, it's not just about if I get them or don't get them. I still stay up with them and stay in contact with them and continue to get to know them throughout their process. And when they make the decision, I want what's best for them. And if going to X, Y, and Z school is what's best for them, I'm happy with that. And it's about relationships. So they know, at the end of the day, that Coach Hall cared about them more than just recruiting.
What are your thoughts and impressions of working in this offense so far?
I love it. I'm a guy that loves to learn. We've been grinding it out the last few days, just getting the details of the playbook done, and I think it's going to be amazing. Obviously Coach Lashley is a bright offensive mind, but I think we got a lot of bright minds inside the room. Coach Justice and his O-line play, being playing at a high level and coaching at a high level, and you got Coach Woods coming from his background in the run game and the pass game. And then Coach Brewer being with Coach for 8 years, that goes a long way, and obviously Coach Likens, you see the personality, he brings a lot of juice in the room, and I think the cohesive, just already you can just feel the relationships bonded in the room, and I think it's been great for us so far, and I think the offense is going to be pretty good because the weapons that we're going to have, it's about the Jimmy and the Joes, and I think we got the talent to be able to be the most electric offense in this conference.
Dallas is based so much on relationships with high school coaches and just everybody in the community. I mean, how big of a task is it for somebody to be that Dallas recruiter, even if they're not from here like you are?
It's huge, but you got to embrace it. It just goes back to relationships. And I know I might be overstepping here, but I just kept on telling Alex and Bobby, hey, we got to get in every high school. We got to get in every high school because it's important. It's really important. I knew with the new staff, we had to make sure that we didn't leave no stone unturned when we're trying to take over the city, and that's the plan. You know, we want to make sure these kids, at the end of the day, make sure we're the school of choice, and want them to understand why not SMU. You know, this should be the place for a Dallas kid to go.